All right, today we're going to be going over a quick and concise list of some of the best blue fragrances that you should own in 2023, the very end of the year, and probably the beginning part of 2024. So this is based off of what's currently on the market right now, and that's always very important because new blue scents are being released all the time. So you might watch this in the future and say, hey, what about this or that? Well, that's probably because those weren't even out yet at the time of this filming. You know, they're always being put out. This is a trend that's probably going to continue on for a long time. And it's one that has definitely been overworked and played out, and I think it's one that a lot of people are probably tired of. However, there's no denying the fact that these scents still just work and they get the job done. And that's kind of what a lot of people are after. And if you're someone who's new to collecting or new to fragrances in general, that's probably why you're getting started. You just want something that smells good, and these do that. So if you care less about pleasing the random purists on the street and you care more about just actually smelling good to normal everyday people, then you're going to want to check these out right here. I'll drop links to these down below if you want to pick them up at discounters. That's a great way to save some money. All but one of these can be had for below retail. That's probably a hint as to what that one is, because people who know the discounter game know that there's one in here in particular that doesn't play that game, but everything else you can save a lot of money on. And just really quickly, what is a blue fragrance? It's anything with a lot of ambroxan or ambergris. So that's kind of the general descriptor of blue fragrance, right? A lot of the times the bottles, the presentations are blue, but it goes beyond that as well. So that's kind of what it is. Let's get things kicked off with a very successful fragrance line. It is Dior Sauvage, more specifically the Eau de Parfum. So Sauvage EDP, are people really talking about this anymore? I don't really think so. I think the EDP and the Parfum are kind of a bit lost. You know, it's like everybody's talking about the EDT. A lot of it is just kind of where it's getting memed on. People say, oh, Sauvage this, Sauvage that, you know, it's just kind of that next scent that's been played out. And so it's kind of a benchmark where people compare it to Sauvage, like, oh, this is popular, it's Sauvage, whatever, right? It's one that is just easy to kind of dunk on. And then on the other hand, there's Sauvage Elixir, which is the new hype. Everybody's talking about it. And to be fair, that one does deserve it. It is great. And so the EDP and the Parfum kind of fall in this weird place where you just don't hear a ton about them. And really, you don't necessarily need to hear a ton about them either, because they're out there, they exist, everybody knows that they exist, and it's almost like there's no need to mention them or bring them up because there are so many other options out there. And so that's kind of where they fall, just in a little bit of an in-between spot. But I do think the EDP is really good. I think it's a nice improvement over the EDT. It's not to say that the EDT is a bad scent. I still like it a lot. It's one that I still do wear from time to time. You know, I enjoy how it smells. But I do think the EDP is more well-rounded, a little bit more mature and thought out, and ultimately smooth. That's the big thing, you know. The EDT is known for being sharp and metallic and spicy, and this one still does have the Sichuan pepper. You still get a lot of that lavender, you still get the metallic notes and a lot of that ambroxan, then the bergamot off the top, right? So the notes look very similar, but this one does have more of a smooth delivery, and that's a big plus to this. For me, I don't necessarily mind the harsh delivery of the original Sauvage. I think that's what gives it its character. I think that's one of the reasons why it has just done so well, and one of the things that propelled it to have such success. And I like it. It really gives it a head-turning factor. But there are times where it is a bit too much, and you just smell it. Sometimes you're just like, oh my gosh, like that's too much right now. You know, sometimes early in the morning, someone walks into a room wearing 15 sprays of Sauvage EDT. It's like, dude, I don't want to smell that right now. It's just too much. And so again, the EDP, still have to be careful with it because it can be a bit overpowering as well, but it's a step in the better direction there. And I think if you're looking to get a Sauvage, you know, and you still want it to smell like Sauvage because Elixir doesn't, the EDP is a great option. The Parfum even goes a little bit further away than the EDP as well, and the Elixir takes it to the furthest extreme. So the EDP is kind of a nice middle ground. Next up, we have a little bit of a unique twist on a blue scent. It is Polo Deep Blue Parfum. Not to be confused with Polo Blue Parfum. Okay, so Polo Blue Parfum came out after this. It's one of their newest releases. It has oak, orange, all of that. It smells a lot more like traditional Polo Blue, but with a more of a woody base. Polo Deep Blue Parfum, on the other hand, has C notes, mango, and ambroxan. So again, a little bit interesting there. Mango, not something that you see every day in general when it comes to scents, but especially in blue fragrances, I don't think I've seen that done before. C notes, so it gives a little bit of aquatic feel, a little bit of a watery type of smell, and then again some of that fruity mango, and then a whole boatload of ambroxan, some other citrus as well, giving it that signature blue scent style. Polo Deep Blue Parfum here, coming in at a true parfum concentration, has great performance. Also, it's one of the more affordable Polo scents. A lot of times this one is going for, I think, as low as $45 to $50. It's one where retailers will often discount it down to that $45, $50 mark. They're like clearancing it half off. And so when that happens, usually that's not an encouraging sign. So in terms of the lifespan of this, I don't know how long it's going to be around. I could probably safely assume that it's not going to stick around forever, and maybe within a few years you'll start to see this one get phased out, maybe even sooner than that. I just don't think this one's going to be doing what they normally predict things to do, which is kind of surprising because it is super mass pleasing, but it just isn't getting the same type of push as some of the other bestsellers. But I digress. It's still a fantastic blue scent. It's an affordable one that you could pick up that has great performance and is a little bit unique. I mean, you got to give them credit. This next one here is going to be on the pricier end, heading over to niche, and so if you have some deeper pockets, this is a great one to go for. It's Parfums de Marly Sedley. Has a lot of ambroxan, no surprise, a ton of bergamot, some fruits, lavender, musk, some very, very light woods in the dry down, but not a ton. Very, very uplifting, playful, carefree, soapy and clean, with just a nice bright kick off the top. I mean, even smelling the dry down here, it's musky, kind of slightly oak mossy, but not a ton. A lot of oak moss is used in Parfums de Marly greenly. You know, nice correlation there. That one has a lot of green apple as well, but a little bit here just to give it that masculine touch. The musk in here is a very nice kind of masculine style of musk. This one smells great. It's kind of familiar in one way or another, but also it doesn't smell like anything else in particular. You know, it doesn't smell like Bleu de Chanel or Sauvage or Dylan Blue or anything like that. Just because it fits into this blue fragrance style and the citrusy scent style, it just kind of gives you that sense of familiarity, you know, but it's kind of as far as it goes. And here's the deal in terms of pricing. Anything under $200, you're doing good. If you can get it down to about 180, that's about the floor. That's about the lowest it's going to go. In my opinion, you shouldn't go out and buy retail. You know, it's not worth it. You can just save a lot of money by waiting a little bit. And if you want to be notified anytime something like any Parfums de Marly comes into stock below retail, or anything rare, discontinued, or hard to find pops up, CH Mint Insignia, Armani Code Absolute, you know, YSL Blue Electric, everything like that, jump on my mailing list and texting list down below. You'll be the first to be notified anytime something like that comes into stock. But yeah, PDM Sedley, it's a great performer. It's a blue scent with great mass appeal. A little bit more expensive. When you can get it for about that $180 price point, that's better, but it's still pricey. Not for everybody, and it's not something you should go out there and, you know, go broke to purchase, or, you know, take out a line of credit through a firm to purchase. Don't do that. You know, just you can get Lattafa Mahir Legacy if you wanted to get a clone of this one. There you go. That's about $37. So what I'm saying is, you don't need to have this. There are other options that are more affordable. But if you do have the money laying around and you want more of a premium product, this is the one to get. Next up, we have Bleu de Chanel Parfum. So speak of the devil here. And, you know, some of you probably caught that in the beginning of the video. One brand that you cannot get below retail. And this is it. They don't play well with discounters. They will sue you if you try to sell them below retail. So nobody does it. And that should be a very good clue to you. If you're shopping on discounters and you see they have Chanel's below retail, or, you know, maybe it's not even discount websites. It could be sketchy ones, or it could be eBay. That's a good sign that it's probably not authentic. So, you know, do your due diligence there. And to be honest with you guys, it's best just to go straight to Sephora, Ulta, Macy's, or Chanel.com to purchase Chanel, okay? Because discounters are going to be marking them up. And again, anywhere else it could be fake. So just go straight to the source and buy it. It's painful. Very rarely do I buy at retail, but Chanel is one where you have to. And it feels weird when you're used to buying at discounters all the time like me. That's kind of what you have to do. And I will say Bleu de Chanel Parfum is worth it. It has lemon zest, a lot of lavender in here, some woods like cedar wood. It smells so good. It's the most premium and mature smelling blue fragrance on the market, hands down. And that also goes for the Bleu de Chanel line. It's the highest tier. It's the best one you can get, you know. And if you didn't want to go for this, if it's a bit out of your price range, the EDP is right there behind it. So take your pick. Smell wise, performance wise, just everything taking into consideration, the Parfum is my favorite. And yes, the price difference is, you know, it's noticeable, but I think it does make up for it here. So something to kind of ponder. You know, it's going to be up to you. Ultimately, any Bleu de Chanel really you can't go wrong with. Let's keep it moving with YSL Eau de Parfum Intense. You know, the new guy on the block. This one already hit discounters. You can get it for around $100 or so for 100 ml. Great price on this. And again, I've said this many times. You know, I've described this a lot since it came out because I've featured it a lot because I think it's really good. This solves a major issue that people had with YEDP, and that was the apple sweetness, because, you know, it's there, it's prominent. When you first spray that one on and even into the dry down, sweet, fruity apple. And that doesn't always work well with everybody. You know, it's a bit much sometimes, especially when it's warm outside. It's just something that, you know, not everybody liked, and it's understandable. So what they did here is they removed it completely. They didn't just tone it down and move it to the back. It's gone. You don't get it anymore. Instead, what they do is they put in a ton of, or a kind of more shift their focus towards a lot more sage, lavender, the aromatic package that was found in all of the others basically. They're still using that same here, but they're just bumping it up even more. You're getting some of that amber wood in the base, but ultimately it's the most aromatic and clean and kind of just refined version of YSL. You know, it's one of the best in the line. And in fact, this comes in probably right behind the EDP for me. I mean, they're close. The EDP just at this point kind of has a special place in my heart. So it's hard to dethrone that one, but this is right behind it. I mean, it's even above the Le Parfum for me. This is a phenomenal, well done, well thought out release that solved a major issue. And so if the Eau de Parfum and Le Parfum and Live were all too sweet for you, this is the solution, and man, is it addicting. I mean, when I first got this one in, I was wearing it consecutively. And even now in wintertime, I still find myself coming down here and at least just smelling it off the atomizer because I like how it smells. And we're going to finish this one off with one from a cologne brand here. This is around, I don't know, $50. Sometimes sales come up and it'll be as low as, you know, $42 or something. Rasasi House. It's that Invictus Aqua DNA. Plum, bergamot, watery notes, ambroxan, lavender, all of that good stuff. Yeah, this is a hard bottle to capture on camera. I don't know, can you see it? I will admit, in person, it is a stunning bottle. For a cologne brand, I got to give them credit. It looks great. And it smells even better. Fruity, juicy, blue scent with beast mode, 12+ hour performance at an affordable price, $50. What more can you ask for? I'm going to leave it there because it speaks for itself. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some of the best blue fragrances you should buy. I tried to, you know, narrow it down. I didn't want to give you 10 or 15 or 20 or something. This portion here is a lot easier to take in and kind of think on, so, you know, hopefully that helps you out. You'll find links to each one of these down below. Deals will be going out to my mailing list and texting list. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.